Good evening, welcome to Prime Edition. I am Cynthia Nyamai. Now, we have been following for you a story over the past 1 week where an ex-Treasury employee was lost, and we have an update that he has been found. I have those details for you. And also in business, it seems like independent power producers have been overcharging the KPLC. I will be telling you why the cost of power is going up. And in sports, all the action is ready for you, but first, let's have the highlights. Who killed Osinde and why? Ex-Treasury employee found dead 3 weeks after he went missing. 85-year-old woman among 4 family members burnt to death in suspected arson attack in Nyandarua.
The strike is on, and to tell our members that they should prepare, as well as Kenyans.
A looming strike. Health workers maintain they will down their tools if the government fails to sort their grievances by mid-July. Well, we would love to hear from you. You can send us your messages and also feedback on our social media pages. That is KBC Channel 1 on Twitter, Facebook, and also Instagram. Now, the search for Tom Osinde has ended in tragedy after his family positively identified his body. The body of the ex-Treasury employee, reported missing nearly 3 weeks ago, was found dumped at River Kuja in Migori County on Thursday last week. Police officers who retrieved his body were unaware at the time that the badly mutilated body was Osinde's. His family positively identified his body in the wee hours of Thursday morning, ending the search.
The 2-week frantic search for Tom Osinde Mokaya ended in tragic news Thursday after his family positively identified his remains that had been lying at Migori County Hospital morgue for the last 7 days. Police from Kamagambo Police Station are reported to have retrieved his badly mutilated body from River Kuja in Migori on Thursday last week. However, it was not until a week later that his brother made a positive ID over his remains. His distraught family, who gathered outside the morgue after receiving the news, appeared pensive amid queries on what could have led to his brutal killing and who was behind the heinous act. His body was transferred to KICC County ahead of a post-mortem exercise scheduled for Friday. In Migori, police say they have gathered crucial evidence that will aid in investigations. 2 of his employees working at his Ngete farm in Nakuru County are in police custody, with one of them linked to his murder. John Jacob Curia, Prime Edition.
4 members of one family perished in a fire incident at a Boyman village in Nyandarua West and a suspected arson attack. Among those who died in the inferno include an 85-year-old granny, her daughter, 36, and 2 grandchildren aged 10 and 5. Elsewhere, a family in Igembe North says their life is in danger following the alleged murder of their kin by a person known to them. The family says the suspect is yet to be arrested.
This is the aftermath of the 1 a.m. inferno that saw 4 people perish. The debris behind painting a picture of the painful death that wiped out this family. John Mwangi's son to the deceased said they had screams from the house and rushed to save the family. The house is reported to have been locked from the outside, making it difficult for the 4 to escape from the 3-bedroom house. Residents are now calling on security officers to investigate the matter.
Tunaomba watusaidie na mwenye alifanya hivyo mtu tu amuone, kwa sababu hawana ugopi na mtu. Mama yetu alikuwa wa furaha, hakuwa na vita na mtu yeyote.
Ile ilifanyika, Mungu wewe tunakuomba utavue mimi, sababu bibi yangu hana ubaya na mtu.
Elsewhere, family in Karawene in Atobetwe, Ward Igembe, North Sub-County, Meru County, is seeking justice after their king was allegedly murdered by people known to them. Residents watch in disbelief as the body of the deceased was found dumped in a Mira plantation.
Tulikuwa tunakaa na Musa, tena Musa ni wetu. Nganyambia kuna waizi wanampamia. Usiku kila siku wanakuja na matozi wakiwa wengi.
According to Peter Kainga, brother to the deceased, his brother was murdered with a machete and his Mira plantation destroyed by a person known to them.
Tutaishi wapi? Tutakaa wapi? Na tutaanza kutafuta. Ndio naomba serikali tu kwa mnyenyekevu, nikuwa mnyenyekevu. Kifo is my brother, kiwe sa mwisho.
They have now called on the Inspector General Police to intervene as the suspect continues to roam free and is threatening them with dire consequences.
Na kuna askari hapa, kuna kampu hapa, lakini hakuna usaidizi. Wale wako hapa wa mpamiso wote tupandilisiwe, tuletewe wengine ile tusaidiki.
Timothy Kipnusu for Prime Edition.
Health workers' unions have maintained that they will go on strike on the 14th of July 2023 over what they have termed as unwillingness by the government to engage them on their terms. Led by their unions, the health workers saying that they have given the government enough time to address issues in their collective bargaining agreement with no solution in sight.
With barely 14 days to the lapse of the 60-day strike notice issued to the Ministry of Health and county governments by the health workers' unions, the unions are decrying what they have termed as lack of effort towards the finalization of their collective bargaining agreement.
This unresponsiveness has been the norm and the greatest saboteur to harmonious working relationship between the unions and the Ministry of Health and the counties. The strike is on, and to tell our members that they should prepare, as well as Kenyans, that from the 14th day of July, there will be no nurses, no clinic officers, no nutritionists, no pharmaceutical technologists, no public health officers, no laboratory officers in any of the public facilities across the country.
While calling for the prioritization of the health sector, they are calling for the employment of the 20,000 health workers as promised by the government.
We need to have the 20,000 being actualized so that we can have our members' employment being done across the board.
They also want Nakuru County to absorb all health workers who have been working under county-based contracts.
Those clinic officers and nurses who are employed by the facility, they account for more than 50% of health workers who are giving services there. So the moment you dismiss them, what happens to service?
Kufuta watu 500 ambao walikuwa wanapeana huduma katika hiyo county. Tunashangaa ni vipi hao wananchi wa hiyo county watapokea huduma ya kutosha.
Recently, WHO came out with a plan and a statement that healthcare are the people who are running away from their practice the most. And there's a projection that by 2030, we'll have lost like 10 million health workers because of poor condition. And Kenya is burdened with that.
The unions at the same time want the government to engage the public on how the enhancement of contributions to the National Health Insurance Fund will assure Kenyans of quality services.
Many Kenyans have challenges using NHF cards to access health services against the background of corruption scandals and scandal bedeviling the institution.
Nancy Okware, Prime Edition.
So today, many people were sending me messages asking what is going on at KICC, and this is what was going on. Firefighters from Nairobi County and Disaster Management and Coordination Team on Thursday conducted a fire drill at the Kenya International Convention Center, causing panic among guests and workers who were caught unawares and scampered for safety. It took approximately 5 minutes before the first person was evacuated from the building. The drill comes just hours after President William Ruto is expected to be the chief guest at the launch of the More Government Services on the e-Citizen platform. Here is our reporter Aziz Hashim with the details.
It was exactly 10 a.m. and activities came to a standstill at the Kenyatta International Convention Center KICC following a fire outbreak. The incident causing panic among unaware guests and workers who scampered for safety. People who are in various offices in the 28-story building were asked to stay out of the building as fire engines moved in to contain the purported fire. Those supposedly injured were treated on the spot by medics. There were around several fire engines and several ambulances at the scene with hundreds of onlookers concerned following the incident that turned out to be a fire mock drill. Parliamentary committees which were in session were forced to adjourn their sittings as the safety of the building was ascertained. Among the various meetings scheduled was the Senate Health Committee probing the 3.7 billion shillings procurement of the long-lasting insecticidal nets at the Kenya Medical Supplies Authority Agency KEMSA. And it was Sports Principal Secretary Peter Tum's date with the Watchdog Committee. The drill took approximately 1 hour before the situation went back to normal. The drill comes just hours after President William Ruto is expected to be the chief guest at the launch of More Government Services on the e-Citizen platform. Abdiaziz Hashim for Prime Edition.
There is a need for urgent action in combating wildlife crime. Tourism, Wildlife and Heritage Cabinet Secretary Penina Malonza says that the country is losing a large number of wildlife to poaching, illegal wildlife trade and human-wildlife conflict. This as Kenya's Tourism, Wildlife and Heritage Cabinet Secretary Penina Malonza became the first female to head the governing council of parties to the Lusaka Agreement.
With the conclusion of the two-day conference of the 13th Extraordinary Meeting of Governing Council of Parties to the Lusaka Agreement that comprises 6 member states, Kenya has taken the leadership role with Tourism Cabinet Secretary Penina Malonza elected as the new president of the Governing Council. In her inaugural speech, Tourism Cabinet Secretary Penina Malonza emphasized the need for member states to partner in the battle against wildlife crime that has been fueled by poaching, illegal wildlife trade and the human-wildlife conflict.
Moving forward, it is our hope that the Lusaka Agreement assumes a pivotal role in global biodiversity conservation with specific focus on compacting wildlife and forest crimes and addressing the threat of climate change.
Key challenges that the Lusaka Agreement has been faced with is mobilization of adequate financial resources.
The CSU further called on member states to adopt stringent measures in the battle against the vice, pledged to strengthen the implementation of activities under its umbrella.
Well, one of my biggest tasks will be reaching out to other countries within Africa so that they can join the Lusaka Agreement task force, whereby we can lobby our voice together and give one position voice of Africa in terms of compacting transnational wildlife crime.
Simultaneously, we must utilize our knowledge of the criminal justice system to combat poaching and transnational organized wildlife crimes.
The event culminated with Kenya signing Memorandum of Understanding with Zambia to enhance regional tourism and intra-Africa travel. Opicho Chemtai for Prime Edition.
Well, the labour courts have received accolades for clearing backloads at the rate of 161%. That and more coming up shortly after the break.
Are you a holder of unclaimed financial assets? Surrender unclaimed financial assets today and avoid the last-minute rush. Take advantage of penalties and fines waiver ending June 30th, 2023. Report and surrender unclaimed financial assets today. For more information, visit our website www.ufaa.go.ke/holders or contact us through holders@ufaa.go.ke or call us on 020-402-3000. Do not wait for the June 30th, 2023 deadline. Unclaimed Financial Assets Authority. Receive, safeguard, reunite.
Cheza Loto Moto.
Kwa majina naitwa Alex Odur, natoka Kamulu. Na leo imekuwa poa. Nilikuja na confidence nikijua naenda kuwin. Na nimewin 100,000 ndio hizi hapa. Wale wanacheza Loto Moto waendelee, ni kitu ya ukweli. Loto Moto, endelea kucheza kila siku.
Usisahau kucheza Loto Moto. Shinda milioni 2 kila siku kwenye M-Pesa. Chagua lipa na M-Pesa. Paybill number weka 757070. Account number andika neno Loto. Weka kiwango chochote cha pesa kuanzia shilingi 50 hadi 2,000. Lipa kisha subiri draw.
Usisita simu yangu bwana, umesikia?
Manake mimi askari wako walipa shingapi?
I'm not going, I'm here to stay. You leave this house.
Hauna shughuli zingine za kufanya?
I am a man of few words.
Kisha nikome.
Beno.
Mimi.
Yes, you go.
Na mke mwingine maika naye huyu. Nenda polisi lakini. Una kilo kitu. Heshima unipi maika.
Bafu sana.
Welcome back. Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua Thursday held a meeting with the president of the Frederick Ebert Stiftung FES Foundation, Martin Schulz, at his official residence in Karen. The two discussed bilateral relations between Germany and Kenya. Martin lauded the Republic of Kenya for their role in promoting peace in the East African region. The DP called on increased efforts to sort out the current challenges being witnessed in some neighboring countries. The Employment and Labour Relations Court has received accolades for clearing the backlog of cases at the rate of 161%. Chief Justice Martha Koome, presiding over the launch of the court's open day, expressed the judiciary's commitment to ensure speedy justice. Ruth Wamboi has more details for you.
The open day of the Employment and Labour Relations Court started with a march to create awareness on the justice system.
We are joined together in the hip in certain jurisdictional areas.
We always work as courts which are supposed to serve one Kenyan, and we should be able to share our problems and come up with our own solutions.
Judges and the judiciary staff talk to celebrate the Labour Relations Court milestones.
The ADR Committee, the Jurisprudence and Publications Committee, and the Legislative Reforms Committee. These committees are envisaged to enhance justice.
Ministry recognizes the Employment and Labour Relations Court as a key partner in championing the goals of decent work.
The President of the Supreme Court, Martha Koome, reiterated the importance of engaging directly with the court of the public's opinion.
The court has achieved a case clearance rate of 161%. A feat that underlines the ERC's active commitment to reduce the backlog of cases and deliver swift justice.
She lauded the Employment and Labor Relations Court for confronting and surmounting the complexities of modern workplaces through innovative solutions.
That the Kenyan Employment and Labor Relations Court has issued a landmark ruling, and one that is a significant contribution to the global struggle against labor exploitation in the cross-border digital sphere.
The theme of the Open Day is the place of employment and labor relations in social transformation through access to justice. As the judiciary celebrates delivery of justice through a justice procession Open Day, Kenyans yearn to see courts that are a beacon of hope in promoting peace and harmony. Ruth Wamboy reporting for KBC from Milimani Law Courts in the county of Nairobi.
Retirees are now calling upon the Ministry of Health to restructure the National Health Insurance Fund, that's the NHIF, to accommodate more outpatient medical services. The retirees have faulted the scheme as it only caters for 25% of outpatient services, noting advanced age necessitates more medical services.
Since during a farewell party of 15 retirees from the Kenya Prison Service, each one of them recounting their more than 30 years of service at the disciplined forces. It was at this ceremony that the 15 retirees were called upon to be good ambassadors as they transition to the society.
It is indeed a great privilege and pride to work until you attain the mandatory retirement age. On behalf of the Kenya Prison Service, and on my own behalf, I wish to congratulate you all for the years you have served the service and our nation. It is gratifying to note that you are all looking energetic even after traveling a long career journey to retirement.
They were further called upon to engage in productive activities to avoid mental health related issues.
And what you have is what you live with. That way, psychologically, you just get stable, yeah? And you live longer, yeah? So that you don't break down and start mental issues. Wanapata mzee amekaa pale. Unfortunately, men get affected more than women.
The retirees took the opportunity to appreciate the service for equipping them with lifelong skills which are critical in solving daily life encounters.
Whenever we join you, so that whenever we are even in that retirement, we should have some activities as per the association that will give us, let's not just meet when we come here on such an occasion. Let's have our meetings outside where we can discuss our ways forward, our problems and all that.
I want to thank the department for giving us humble opportunity as civilian. It is not easy if you've not been trained as a uniformed officer to work among the uniformed officer and do, for many years.
So langu nukushukuru Mungu, nukushukuru commissioner, nukushukuru staff wote, hata na wafungwa wenye hawako hapa, because actually those are our clients. I'm so grateful kwa cooperation ambayo tumefanya kazi pamoja.
National Assembly Labour Committee has rejected the nomination of Phyllis Wagasha as a member to the Salaries and Remuneration Commission ahead of the consideration of the report by plenary next week. Members of the committee argued that Wagasha is above retirement age as stipulated by the Employment Act. last week and found that she is 75 years old, said that she is way above the mandatory retirement age for public servants despite having the right academic qualifications for the position. The move comes even as the House approved Mary Wanyonyi Chebukati as Commission for Revenue Chair.
The many years of hard work she put both in public service and in pursuing her academic qualifications, being a certified public accountant, being a financial analyst, holding a bachelor's degree in commerce and a master's degree, and the discussion became who was she married to. And maybe this House, Honorable Speaker, needs to ask ourselves whether we accord the same treatment when we are vetting the male that come to this House, or when we vet any male candidates in any particular position. Does anybody care whose husband someone is when they get appointed? So why the double standards when it is professional, qualified, experienced women of this country? Then the question of who their spouse is comes to play. However, Honorable Speaker, CP Mary Wanyonyi was proud to be a wife, to be a mother, and she said even if it portrayed her or whatever was said, she would still choose that gentleman as her husband. And I was like, that is how our women should be proud of their husbands. And with that, Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that this House approves the appointment of CPA Mary A.C. Wanyonyi as a chairperson for Commission on Revenue.
That CPA Mary is one of those very qualified persons in the Republic, and she has a very good track record of public service, actually proven track record of public service, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to say she's qualified, and I want to ask the House to approve so that she can start working for this country.
This House approves the appointment of CPA Mary S.C. Wanyonyi as a chairperson of the Commission on Revenue Allocation. As members of that opinion say aye. Aye. Will those of the contrary opinion say nay? Nay. The ayes have it.
Welcome back. It's now time for business. Well, expect high fuel prices from midnight tomorrow. This is after the Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority in a notice said it will announce new pump prices that will reflect the 16% value-added tax on petroleum products following the passing of the Finance Act of 2023. With the new VAT tax taking effect, the price of super petrol is likely to retail at 196 shillings 60 cents, diesel at 180 shillings 66 cents, and kerosene at 174 shillings 39 cents in Nairobi.
Fuel prices continue to break records in the country, putting a significant strain on Kenyan wallets, businesses, and farmers, a factor that is also driving inflation. When the clock hit midnight tomorrow, new fuel prices will take effect. The Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority has said it will announce new fuel prices on Friday. The new prices will reflect the new value-added tax on petroleum products, which will now be at 16% following the passing of the Finance Act of 2023. Previously, petroleum products were subjected to 8% VAT. EPRA said in a notice on 26 June 2023, President William Ruto signed into law the Finance Bill 2023, introducing a 16% VAT on petroleum products. Accordingly, EPRA will tomorrow, 30th June 2023, release the reviewed petroleum prices in compliance with the Finance Act 2023. This comes barely 2 weeks after EPRA announced new fuel prices for the month of June 15th to July 14th. In its last review, the price of super petrol decreased by 66 cents per litre, diesel reduced by 1 shilling and 12 cents, while kerosene increased by 34 cents per litre. With the new 16% VAT taking effect, fuel prices are expected to a record high, the first in Kenya's history. The price of super petrol is likely to retail at 196 shillings and 60 cents, diesel at 180 shillings and 66 cents, and kerosene at 174 shillings and 39 cents in Nairobi. It is still unclear whether the regulator will still revise fuel prices on the 14th of July, as has been the norm. The government targets to collect 10 billion shillings monthly or 128 billion shillings annually as the new financial year begins on the 1st of July 2023. Wairi Mujenga, Full Prime Edition.
Independent power producers are on the spot for overcharging Kenya Power and Lighting Company for the supply of electricity. This is driving up the cost of electricity, especially after the enactment of the Finance Act. Appearing before the National Assembly's Energy Committee, the producers were at pains to outline strategies they plan to implement to reduce the cost of electricity sold to Kenya Power, as Abdiziz Hashmam reports.
The document you have provided us.
The National Assembly Departmental Committee on Energy this morning met with the independent power producers regarding the expected high cost of electricity in the country. The members wanted to find out measures that can be implemented to lower the cost of power in the country. Electricity prices are expected to go up following the enactment of the Finance Bill 2023.
Because it's very sad that fellow Kenyans are stealing from their own wananchi. I wish my brother Mawade would have taken Mandamano to where Kenyans are crying.
A section of the committee claimed that Thika Power Limited, Gulf Power Limited and other independent power producers are ripping off Kenyans by overcharging Kenya Power and Lighting Company for the supply of electricity, driving up the cost of electricity.
You still don't see sense in reducing the cost of power to Mama Mboga. Mama Mboga does not understand capacity charge. I asked you. Mama Mboga understands per unit cost that they pay.
What the common mwananchi is interested in is what is the cost of electricity when it gets to me per kilowatt.
For the purpose of this committee, I would say that the elephant in the room is not capacity charge, but fuel cost. It accounts for 70% of our billing to Kenya Power and Lighting. And if we are able to bring that fuel cost down, then ultimately, even with adjustment in capacity payment or capacity charge, we are likely to see a greater impact on the final bill cost of generation.
The elephant in the house is not the fuel cost. To the understanding of the committee, fuel cost is just part one of the issues. According to us, the elephant in the house is a capacity charge.
The Electricity Sector Association of Kenya told the committee that Kenya Power should reduce its operation cost to lower the cost of energy. The Mwala MP Vincent Musyoka-led committee now wants the Ministry of Energy to relook into the contract between the independent power producers and the state to find a compromise to the ever-rising cost of electricity. This comes as the Energy, Petroleum and Regulatory Authority, that is EPRA, will be reviewing its prices tomorrow following the enactment of the Finance Bill into law. And it remains to be seen if the independent power producers will be aiding KPLC in lowering the cost of electricity or not. Abdiaziz Hashim from Parliament Buildings, Prime Edition.
Kurumisha ndege. Aviator instant game. Be a daring pilot and earn by how much high you can lift the plane. The higher you fly, the higher your win. The sky is the limit. Mozart bet.
Papa Dylan, nini ilifanyika?
Bao za scaffolding ziliporomoka tukijenga. Na tumemwambia foreman kwamba hii nyumba yajengwa haraka.
Mama Steve, mabwana zetu hawezi kufa tukiona. Kesho tupatane hapo kwa site ya huyo contractor.
Unapokiuka sheria na kanuni za ujenzi, unahatarisha usalama na ustawi wa jamii.
Tulieni.
Nyinyi mnataka kutumaliza. Kwanza naenda kuripoti. Kwa sababu hii site ilikuwa imefungwa na MCA na bado mnaendelea.
Jenga haki, wajibika, Hakikisha unahusisha wataalamu na kuzingatia ujenzi bora na ulio na haki kulingana na sheria zilizowekwa. Wajibika, epuka hasara, okoa maisha, jenga haki na NCA.
Mothers are, I think, the glue that sticks the world. They are the ones who they are co-workers with Jesus. They bring out children.
I remember for me, I met my daughter and I knew she was mine. As in, there was no question. I was like, please pack her up. This is my child. I'm going home with her.
Oh, wow.
I have to celebrate
yes.
some of the things. Because for a man to raise a girl and be a big girl is not all that easy.
I tell people this, I never remember she's adopted.
Oh, wow.
Because to me, she's my daughter. There's no other option. As in, there's no...
Yeah.
Welcome back. Those offering livestock nutrition services without the relevant documentation face fines of up to $500,000 shillings. If the Animal Production Professionals and Technicians Bill of 2023 is enacted into law in its current form, the Director of Livestock Policy Research and Regulations, Christopher Wanga, says the law seeks to stem infiltration of unqualified personnel in the livestock subsector.
Kenya exported hides and skins and leather worth 2 billion shillings in 2022. Players in the livestock subsector say the export numbers could be higher if the country produces high-quality livestock products. To regulate livestock production, the government is proposing a creation of a board to regulate the subsector.
All production professionals are going to have a board that regulates their practice, and this safeguards actually the delivery of services to the farmers. The farmer will be able to know, I'm getting advice, I'm getting support from properly qualified persons.
We need to regulate all those that pertains to the production, starting from the breeding. You remember the low quality feeds that we talk of. It's going to be regulated. The pig industry, the dairy industry, the beekeeping industry.
The board, which will be anchored in the Animal Production Professionals and Technicians Bill of 2023, proposes fines of up to $500,000 shillings for unlicensed practitioners.
Let's say you poison the animals through wrong inputs, then the penalty is much more severe than a smaller offense. So it's a graduated kind of punishment regime.
The board will also offer a redress mechanism for any malpractices by licensed practitioners.
Anybody coming to you to help you in terms of advising you on your feeding regimes or any other inputs for animal production, you have a fallback position because you can counter-check and find that he's a sound professional.
Animal feed manufacturers will also be required to register with the board in a bid to reduce incidences of adulterated feeds.
Which they have been which have of no nutritional value. Talk about the wheat store which have no nutritional value and which was being fed to the animals. It wasn't doing much to our animals. So with this bill, we'll be able to regulate the livestock feeds to ensure that what we feed to our animals is of high quality.
Benson Druba reporting for Prime Edition.
The Kenya Bureau of Standards, KEBS, has intercepted a high-end vehicle suspected of being cloned from the United Kingdom. The vehicle in question, a Range Rover Sport, was intercepted during a routine check at the Regional Logistics Center Container Freight Station in Mombasa. Acting Managing Director for KEBS, Estangari, says the regulator is working to ensure that all vehicles met the required compliance standards in order to protect consumers from such instances.
Car cloning is the act of stealing the identity of a legitimately owned vehicle and putting it onto a stolen car. It begins with replacing the chassis number of a stolen vehicle with that of another vehicle of a similar model and registering it in another jurisdiction. To this end, Kenya Bureau of Standards says it is working to scrutinize all its motor vehicle inspections and especially those that are imported in order to help fight against illegal and fraudulent trade practices.
There are processes that we have put in place for inspection of motor vehicles as they come into the country, and inspection can be done out there by our inspection agencies. But if you bring your vehicle into the country before that is done, there are also processes that we shall do to make sure that fraudulent activities do not happen.
Additionally, potential buyers have been urged to deal with recognized dealers to guarantee the safety of their investments.
So many people have been losing their money due to these fraudulent cars, because somebody sees the car over the auction or through another showroom in UK or any other part of the world. They purchase. After purchasing, that vehicle sometimes do not even reach the destination, and that is costing money. Why lose your money out there? Because sometimes they put me in a very bad situation, trying to follow with the Interpol how they can get their money back.
The impounded vehicle was handed over to the Kenya Revenue Authority for further action, marking a significant stride in the nation's ongoing battle against fraudulent trade activities. Ndutamo Kami for Prime Edition.
Credit Bank Kenya is projecting an increase of its balance sheet to 32 billion shillings by next year, following an onboarding of Shorekup Bank. This comes after the Central Bank of Kenya approved the acquisition of 20% shareholding by the Mauritius-based Shorekup in April this year.
Credit Bank Kenya is hoping to grow its market share and expand its support to small and medium enterprises following a 20% acquisition by Shorekup. Shorekup, owned by Shorekup 3GP Limited, African Development Bank Group, CDC Holdings, and European Investment Bank, focuses on investing in inclusive financial services in Asia and Africa. Credit Bank CEO Betty Korir says through the partnership, the return on equity is projected to grow to 15% from 8.95% since 2018.
Definitely that speaks to financial stability, it speaks to balance sheet resilience, and therefore we can be able to build a portfolio of loans leveraging on that capital. And in terms of stability, I think really it's the names behind Shorekup.
Shorекup's business model mainly focuses on investing in inclusive financial services in Asia and Africa. The bank says through the partnership, access to affordable and responsible financial products and services for undeserved market segments will expand.
The bank has clearly punched above its weight in this market, and what we would want to do here is basically to support that journey and give it the capacity to continue to upscale its weight class.
Frederick Mulki for Prime Edition.
Equity Group has revived its employee shares ownership scheme, earmarking 5% stake valued at 10 billion Kenya shillings to employees. Equity Bank CEO James Mwangi says the move to incentivize the staff is aimed at helping the lender attract and retain superior talent.
Equity Group assets have grown from 428.1 billion shillings as of 1st January 2016 to 1.5 trillion shillings as of 31st March 2023. During the 19th annual general meeting, Equity Group staff won big after shareholders granted 5% of the entire shareholding, equivalent to 198 million shares, through its employee share ownership scheme.
Despite these challenges, Equity has proven its resilience, agility, and ability to thrive in different operating environments. By providing relevant and innovative products and services, engaging our stakeholders proactively, and embracing new ways of working,
the board, which have accepted and has proposed to put the request to the shareholders for the establishment of an employee share ownership program.
Equity Group CEO James Mwangi says over the last 7 years, the listed firm has successfully navigated tough times and expanded beyond East Africa and Central Africa. Mwangi says the employee share ownership program will align the interest of the staff to the long-term interest of shareholders to achieve value creation through strong performance, return on equity and assets, and competitive dividend payouts. The move is aimed at helping the listed firm attract superior talent and global skills from global multinationals, as well as drive a strong performance culture, embed performance measurement, and an open reward system.
This program involves rewarding and retaining good performance while containing cost. It involves a three-tiered reward system, a guaranteed monthly pay, an annual bonus, and a share ownership scheme that takes a view of 3 to 5 years retention.
The shareholders also approved the setting up of technology and insurance business companies as subsidiaries. Wairi Mujenga for Prime Edition.
Hacking, unauthorized access, and leakage of confidential information are the biggest cybersecurity threats in Kenya. This is driving up the demand for cybersecurity experts in Kenya, which has gone up by 82% in the last year. Elsewhere, taxi operators in Mombasa have welcomed Rwandan cab-hailing services firm Yego, which is expected to formally begin operations on Friday evening. The drivers say a 12% commission on rides that the company is offering is expected to appeal to more drivers in the county.
According to a 2022 survey released by Liquid C2, 68% of Kenyan business respondents said email attacks like phishing and spam were the biggest threats. The report further reveals that some companies have traded the use of Microsoft Office 365 down 13% year-on-year for Google Meet, which is now at 62%. The report also shows that hacking, unauthorized access, and leakage of confidential information are the biggest cybersecurity threats in Kenya. This is driving up demand for cybersecurity experts in Kenya, which has gone up by 82% in the last year. Elsewhere, taxi operators in Mombasa have welcomed Rwandan hailing services firm Yego, which is expected to formally begin operations on Friday evening. The drivers say 12% commission on rides that the company is offering is expected to appeal to more drivers in the county.
The cost of insurance has gone up, but why aren't the drivers being compensated for this? So our way of fair play is NTSA said 18% commission. We said no, 12% commission inclusive of tax. We said we are not going to play games. It's going to be very straightforward for the driver. 88% goes to the driver.
Finally, at least 20% of income earners in Kenya would opt for a home with 30% of green space, solar-generated power, and 70% of open spaces. Green Heart of Kenya CEO Gordon Luki says inquiries and bookings by investors point to areas out of town and preferably secluded locations. A study by Green Heart of Kenya reveals that many Kenyans would prefer to settle for investments out of town, with 20% of them being income earners.
People have been looking for more space, again from all backgrounds, wanting to move out of the urban areas into an area where they can have a better way of life for their family, for their children, and more access to the natural environment.
What many developments and Green Heart of Kenya is doing at the moment is trying to involve the communities, creating opportunities in terms of employment, ensuring that the communities can have their ecosystems restored, and trying to ensure that their natural way of living is not disrupted by the projects they are doing.
Trevor Ngendo for Prime Edition.
Safari Rally Kenya 2023 may be over, but the lessons of hybrid technology from the event are silently cementing a new truth in Kenyan motoring culture. Today on Tech One, we'll look at how vehicle manufacturers are angling for a piece of the Kenya hybrid vehicle segment. Alon Oko has more.
According to industry experts, there are about 350 electric vehicles out of 2.2 million registered vehicles in Kenya. The slow growth has been attributed to the initial high cost of the vehicles. That notwithstanding, Kenyans are slowly turning to the half-siblings of EVs, and they are finding solace in hybrid vehicles that punch the same power.
The ones that are mild hybrids, then full hybrids, then hybrids with chargers, going to battery EVs.
To put it into perspective, the car that the World Rally champion and winner of the 2023 Safari Rally Kenya, Sebastian Ogier, drove to the finish is powered by a combination of a 1.6-litre turbocharged petrol engine delivering 380 horsepower and an electric unit delivering an extra 100 kilowatts, allowing the car to drive with clean electric power when needed.
Producing components and cars in a green fashion, and then it's looking at progressively moving towards fully green cars, beginning with the hybrid, and it began that journey with the hybrid 20 years ago.
Electric vehicles are any vehicle that contains a battery-powered electric motor within. If it's all electric or pure electric, it's called a battery electric vehicle, also known as an EV. Plug-in hybrid electric vehicles or PHEV varieties can operate entirely on battery thrusts, whereas hybrid electric vehicles, HEVs, have self-charging batteries in a process that is referred to as regenerative braking. With the rising cost of fuel, there is a lot of hype about hybrids and EVs. This has also been buoyed by the conversation around climate change. The prices of popular hybrid cars in Kenya range from as low as 800,000 shillings to as high as 6.8 million shillings for the newer models of HPEVs. But price aside, the availability of qualified mechanics is another challenge facing the industry. But experts are saying that as the industry continues to evolve, technology will become more rampant and technical expertise will become more readily available. Alan Oko, Tech One.
Cheza Loto Moto.
Kwa majina naitwa Alex Odur, natoka Kamulu. Na show leo imekuwa poa. Nilikuja na confidence nikijua naenda kuwin. Na nimewin 100,000 ndio hizi hapa. Wale wanacheza Loto Moto waendelee, ni kitu ya ukweli. Loto Moto, endelea kucheza kila siku.
Usisahau kucheza Loto Moto. Shinda milioni 2 kila siku kwenye M-Pesa. Chagua lipa na M-Pesa. Paybill number, weka 757070. Account number, andika neno Loto. Weka kiwango chochote cha pesa kuanzia shilingi 50 hadi 2,000. Lipa, kisha subiri draw.
The Public Service Superannuation Scheme, PSSS, is a statutory body established under the Public Service Superannuation Scheme Act in 2012 as a defined contributory scheme intended to cater for the dedicated civil servants, teachers, and disciplined services personnel. The scheme, together with its stakeholders, will host the first PSSS annual general meeting on Friday, 30th June 2023 from 10 a.m. To register, visit www.psss.go.ke. This event will be live on KBC Channel 1. PSSS, building a secure future together.
The global lottery market is growing at a rate of 4% annually. This growth is expected to be sustained all the way up to the year 2030. And the market is expected to reach $430 billion. Kenya is angling for a piece of the lottery pie.
The outcome of this lottery can be achieved only when there is aggressive and the correct operator. Of course, there will be government part and parcel in it to control them that they are not going out of the way. But operation and everything will be handled by the private operator only.
This week on Inside Government, we're talking to the chairperson of the Presidential Task Force on the establishment of a national lottery, Narendra Guru. Watch the conversation here on KBC Channel 1 with me, O'Brien Kimani.
Welcome back. We're so glad that you're still here with us. Now, smart homes and appliances are gaining traction among Kenyans, driven by increased internet access and a growing middle class. LG content manager William Kamore is, however, urging users to follow best practices on personal information sharing while using smart appliances to minimize the risk of cyber attack. Regina Manyara discussed the issue of cybersecurity with Kamore, and this is how the conversation went.
Information, communication and technology is driving the fourth industrial revolution. But the question is, how safe is your personal data in light of digitally enabled appliances? Joining us is none other than William Kamore, content manager at LG. Thank you, sir, for your time. Let's look at the current state in as far as, uptake of digitally enabled gadgets in the country. What's our status report?
As LG Electronics, since about 2 or 3 years ago, there was a sudden peak in terms of especially Wi-Fi enabled appliances, and that has driven even other industry brands to try and cap this market. And you find at the moment we can say it should be about 60 to 70% of the market of LG Electronics that has Wi-Fi enabled appliances and also what we call AI integrated products.
What is actually driving this uptake?
So what I can say is, you see, from how we know, especially in urban setups, you see there is actually an increase in terms of accessibility to internet. And I think by now, even from what you can tell from most people nowadays in urban settings going to look for houses, usually one of the key factors they tick is Wi-Fi. Because they'll come and tell you, do these houses have Wi-Fi? So you see, once that uptake is there and people are able to see, and then also the growth in terms of like the bandwidth, like now 5G is here with us. So now you see the internet is there and it is growing, and it is up to manufacturers and brands to try and keep up with that and see how best to help the consumer, because at the end it's the consumer who will benefit or who will get the most of these appliances.
Government is driving the digital superhighway as an initiative and a program to actually create an uptick of more digital services. What's your take as being in the value chain?
So I'd like to commend the government especially for this, and like one thing we've done this year in collaboration actually with our AC department, there was a workshop that was done with the leading engineers in the energy field, and also in collaboration with the ministry. They were able to give up this and give us this opportunity for LG and also other brands to try and to see how best we can work together with government to streamline the same thing that they're also pushing, or for the digital uptick.
William, what are the emerging trends?
So the emerging trends especially for home appliances and electronics in general, we've come to see that nowadays, especially again to mention the urban areas, you find that most people are looking for appliances that will enable them to have an easier life, and also that are their convenience to use. And all this can be approved, or all this can be put together in terms of what the government infrastructure is doing, and also what private or what brands is doing, and that also pushes LG to develop such products.
What is your feel of the market, taking up especially smart homes?
Good that you bring up the smart homes, because LG has been pioneering this from I think in the past about 5 years or so, and it has been come to be the same, especially in the East African market, which has also been able to be incorporated and integrated in the same for this. And you find that in the Internet of Things, you find now, we talk about smart fridges, smart washing machines, or even our smartphones to be particular, and also TVs. Like nowadays, all gadgets or all electronic gadgets, I'm sure all of us can be able to connect them with them together.
But then William then brings this question: how safe are we in light of an uptake on Internet of Things, as you said, smartphone, smart TV? Supposing today one was hacked and you have a smart home.
So one thing I can say is LG prides itself in the research and development area to ensure that all the information or what the information you give to the LG or whichever appliance you get is safe with us. And you'll find that through the revolutionary of the LG ThinQ app, there's an app that we have that is that enables you to be able to control and monitor your devices. And of all the information that it is able to get, it does not take much of your personal data, because that's what is most important, the security or the privacy of the user and the personal data that is used. Because so what it only links with, it only provides information, or it links information with you and the product. So most of the information is on the product, is about the product. So you'll find on your personal data is the same way I can say on our phones. Like we trust our phones to have most of our personal data. So the same protocols that are being observed from any perspective, or let's say if it's a smart TV or it's a smart refrigerator or a smart washing machine, all that access and all the data you can access it through your phone.
Well, that said, still, I want to be a devil's advocate in this particular, setup. We've had reports from Seriano and the like saying that we are still very much susceptible to cyber attacks. Now we are this advent of, smart homes, as we speak.
Yes.
How then can we, ensure that we remain safe with this current dispensation?
For that, now I'll go back to the user, because one of the things that comes with technology is usually like when we say that our people perish because of lack of knowledge, you find that most people, once they access or once they get access to all this information, most people don't read through. And especially, as you all know, most of the users under the terms and conditions, you just tick, then you tick, and then you as the user is the one who allows the access to your any information. So I would encourage users, especially because home is a private affair. So I would encourage consumers that whatever it is you are allowing access to your home, ensure that you get the correct measures, because you also find, like in the sense of like, let me take for example the TVs. Like before TVs used to come with webcams, but there was an issue or a case with some other brands somewhere that it meant that they were getting information from that. So now you see the governing bodies ensured that for a TV to come with a webcam, it should be the user's preference, not the brand's preference to install the camera. So that way now, if you want to access that will say it boils down to the consumer and what they allow, and also reading through what it is that this application or this product is getting access to.
The market is infiltrated by counterfeits. As a brand, how are you ensuring that your target market and your clients get value for their money?
Yeah, that's a very good question. And again, I'd like to commend the government, especially working together with the anti-counterfeit and agency, because what they have tried to ensure is, first, you see the government has to cap or has to block the routes or the loopholes where now the products do come in. But again, you see, it cannot be like 100% sure, because human beings, they are always find a way of trying to maneuver these things. So once that is capped, the next thing now is to try and check the products that are coming in, how genuine are they. And LG has provided an app and even a short message code where whichever it is you go to any outlet or any electronic store, you get an LG product, you can take the serial code and send it to a toll-free number. That's 0800 545454 or 0700 545454. And once you do that, it sends you a message and tells you that this product is genuine and is covered by a 2-year warranty. Now, see, if it gives you now the other message that this product is not genuine, now you see that way now it also now drives the sellers to see that if they continue dealing with the counterfeit products, they are the ones to lose. And you see, in this market, we don't want anyone to lose. So it comes to the customer getting genuine product, also to our dealers for them to get genuine products so that they can also make their sales. And then also LG as a brand for the brand image to ensure that the products that we deliver are of genuine quality.
The issue of after service. How then does it work to, pushing penetration of these particular products in light of, increased competition?
Yeah, so you see, like in any business, I always say that a customer who's bought something, first of all, that is your ambassador, that is your customer. He or she is the one who will come to purchase another product. And for LG Electronics in East Africa and also globally, we value the after-sales service, and by providing various products for after-sales service. Like at the moment, currently as we speak, LG has the service bus that is doing a tour countrywide. So at the moment now they're in Mount Kenya, and they've been doing this tour bus for about 1 month to drive or to take the service to the people. Because like if we say you want to bring or you develop an issue with your appliance and you're told where to bring it, then it becomes cumbersome to you. So by providing this service, we call it now the tour bus. Providing this service ensures that the service or the after-sale service reaches the consumer. And then also LG is very easily reachable on toll-free numbers on WhatsApp. And what I can say from what we get from consumers is any feedback that we get is valued and all of them are served.
Then how do you deal with, electronics that have gone obsolete?
So for that, let me say that especially this year, LG embarked on a Better Life for All campaign, and this is putting into perspective people and the planet. Because you see, we are the ones who live in this planet, and in the time we have to ensure that this planet is better for our future generations. So one thing that LG, straight from production to manufacturing, they aim to try and to bring this issue of sustainability, especially on the ESG forum, and so this on environmental, social, and governance. So one thing is by Vision 2030 for LG, it aims to recycle about 600,000 tons of recycled materials into the production line, and also increase the terms of e-waste collection material in the global perspective.
You've said you have a sustainability strategy. People are going green, manufacturers are also going green. Does it also include the use of alternative sources of power other than electricity?
Yes, so in terms of electronics going obsolete, so one thing again, I go back to the service, because our service center teams are the ones that are equipped to handle electronic waste. So at the moment, like I say, as the LG service bus is going around, same case, if you have an LG product that you've seen is end of life, you don't know how to dispose of it. So one thing is, if you find the bus, you can go and give them the product for it to be disposed. And then you see, like they always say, one man's trash is another man's. So you find that, you see, if I may be having the product I'm not using, and let's say there's someone else who has the same product but they're still using and they require a part, and you have the same on that. So we always encourage consumers to give the safe disposal of e-waste materials. So all these reach LG service center number, call them, let them know, and they will guide you. And again, I go back and mention also the government terms in terms of support for this, because also the government supports in terms of this of gathering all the electronics waste and being able to dispose it in the way that it's supposed to be.
There's been a conversation around, AI. Is that a primary concern for you as a security threat? Or how are you now looking at AI to increase efficiency and also, make it secure?
So when we talk about AI or artificial intelligence, as most people know, one thing, most people fear technology, or most people fear what AI can do. But from where I sit, or from where I stand, from what I've been able to see when it comes to artificial intelligence, it can only grow bigger and better. Because you see, every human being, everyone likes convenience. And everyone wants efficiency, even if it's efficiency at work or efficiency at home. And AI drives this by helping or giving the user control of all your products, and also it gives you a much more better, convenient, and better use of any technology that you may be getting.
LG appears to be concentrated within the peri-urban areas. Do you have a strategy to have these particular digitally enabled appliances get to the hinterlands?
Okay, so one thing about the rural areas, the hinterlands, as you would say, is LG ensures that all the products that we get in this country are able to reach all the corners of this country. That is through the wide network of our distributor, Opalnet Limited, that ensures all dealers, all hypermarkets have the same products that you would find also in the urban areas, and also ensure the same is available on our online platform. And the same thing is, as I mentioned, the tour bus that is going around. This is talking about the service department, but also in terms of not only the service department, but once they go around to all these towns in East Africa, you find that they do also carry the catalog of these new products, because you might find someone who's had a product for long in that area and doesn't know if there's any new other product. Once they get to see that, they say, instead of if I've been having this product, I can be able to see that these new products are also available at my end.
Well, as you come to a conclusion, what's your take in regard to where we are currently in the uptake of digitally enabled appliances, and what the future portends going forward?
The safety when it comes to Internet of Things or also AI, it all boils down to what we as the users allow access to. Because if you get the right information, it means that you will be able to know what kind of information am I giving out there. Like, for example, if you allow access, for example, on our phones, we all know what our phones, all the data our phones carry and what we allow on all these apps. So I would say the same thing would boil down to your appliances. But when it comes to safety, I would assure that when it comes to LG Wi-Fi enabled appliances or smart appliances, what I say, the information that we gather is information related to the product and to your usage. So it does not have to rely on, let's say, any other information that is not suitable for your lifestyle.
Very well said. We have been speaking to none other than William Kamore, who is a content manager at LG, and confirming that where we are right now, ICT indeed is driving the fourth industrial revolution. And a caution to you as a user, in light of uptake of smart appliances, this actually store data that you give. So be mindful of how much data you are putting up on this particular appliances. I've been your host, Regina Manyara. You're watching KBC Channel 1.
Cheza Loto Moto.
Kwa majina naitwa Alex Odur, natoka Kamulu. Na leo imekuwa poa. Nilikuja na confidence nikijua naenda kuwin. Na nimewin 100,000 ndio hizi hapa. Wale wanacheza Loto Moto waendelee, ni kitu ya ukweli. Loto Moto, endelea kucheza kila siku.
Usisahau kucheza Loto Moto. Shinda milioni 2 kila siku kwenye M-Pesa. Chagua lipa na M-Pesa. Paybill number weka 757070. Account number andika neno Loto. Weka kiwango chochote cha pesa kuanzia shilingi 50 hadi 2,000. Lipa kisha subiri draw.
Are you a holder of unclaimed financial assets? Surrender unclaimed financial assets today and avoid the last-minute rush. Take advantage of penalties and fines waiver ending June 30th, 2023. Report and surrender unclaimed financial assets today. For more information, visit our website www.ufaa.go.ke/holders or contact us through holders@ufaa.go.ke or call us on 020-402-3000. Do not wait for the June 30th, 2023 deadline. Unclaimed Financial Assets Authority. Receive, safeguard, reunite.
You don't think I know what you guys are doing? Tiffany, you need to chill. I am not stupid.
Simatanga ilisha. Sasa mnafaa kurudi kwa familia zenu.
Wewe nilisikia unaishi Uganda. Unafanya nini Kenya?
You can come to me with anything, and I mean anything. You and I should grab a drink.
I'm just trying to check on you.
Is that part of your daily?
Don't you want to drink your sorrows away? One bottle of whiskey and all your sadness will be gone. Are you... What's coming your way?
What were you two gossiping about? I don't trust anyone. No, what? You're all liars.
Biggest odds in the world every day on selected matches. Make a decision. Mozart Bet.
Baraka kanipa zaidi ya nilivyoomba.
Life is about understanding the dignity of the human being.
Kuna mtu anasema mwili ni yangu. Mwili ni yangu. Mbona mnani blame mimi kufanya kile nataka na mwili yangu?
Actually, it's just that they have not been caught red-handed, and the issue of abortion is very hard to get, someone red-handed doing it. But actually, I know people are being arrested, and sometimes it has been recorded that some women even go mad.
Because of the pain.
Because of the pain. Because your body cannot contain that pain.
Yale unasema baba, yote ni kweli, mala pia wayasema.
Hayawi, hatimaye huwa kombe la Mozart Bet litafikia kileleni Jumamosi hii ya Julai 1. Timu mbili zilizofuzu kwenye fainali zikiwania tiketi ya kuwakilisha Kenya kwenye mashindano mashirikisho barani Afrika. Tusker na Kakamega Homeboys wakikabiliana kwenye fainali hiyo itakayogaragazwa katika uchanjao wa Kasarani Jumamosi kuanzia saa 9 kamili. Lakini kabla ya fainali hiyo, FC Leopards watapambana na Ulinzi Stars kusaka mshindi wa nafasi ya 3 kuanzia saa 6 dhuhuri uwanjani Kasarani. Usikose uhondo wa mechi hizo kwenye runinga ya KBC Channel 1 kuanzia saa 6 kamili. KBC Channel 1, mwandani wako wa dhati michezoni.
It is the cup with the golden ticket. Mozart Bet Cup. 2 million shillings. CAF Confederations Cup. Kuwa mshindi. Mozart Bet Cup.
A very good evening to you. My name is Daniel Wahome and welcome to Prime Edition Sport. The Kenya National Rugby Sevens team campaign of returning to the World Rugby 7 Series has been boosted with the sponsorship of 22 million shillings injected into the team's journey by betting firm SportPesa. The Kenyan team was relegated from the series last season after a dismal performance which saw them collect 41 points from 11 legs, which started in Hong Kong and ended in London.
The Kenya National Sevens team journey back to the World Series will finally begin after betting firm SportPesa pumped 22 million shillings into the team. Kenya suffered a last match loss to Canada in the London leg of the series last season and was knocked out of the World Series. The performance followed a poor show that season, managing to collect only 7 points in their highest score tally in 3 legs, and ended the season with just 41 points, a massive 160 points behind champions New Zealand. Meanwhile, the 2023 Kenya National Rugby 7 circuit kicks off this weekend in Kisumu with the Dallas Sevens, just 2 days after the Kenya Rugby Union announced a partnership deal worth 15 million shillings per season for 3 seasons with betting company SportPesa. The Dallas Sevens will be the first of 6 rounds in the national series and will be played at the newly refurbished Jomo Kenyatta International Stadium in Kisumu. Reigning champions Menengai Oilers are grouped in Pool A of Dala alongside Nakuru, Nondescripts and Catholic Monks, while KCB are in Group B together with Kenya Harlequins, Masinde Muliro and Mombasa. Kabras Sugar are in Pool C alongside Strathmore Leos, Daystar Falcons and Kisumu, while Homeboys, Mwamba, Western Bulls and Makueni make Pool D. Mombasa will host the second round while the 6th and final leg will be played in Nairobi. The Dallas Sevens has received an extra boost of 2 million shillings from Kenya Breweries Limited.
Now, Kenya clinched a second medal at the Africa Beach Games in Hammamet, Tunisia, after wrestler Mark Omumasaba won silver in the men's 90 kilograms class. Omumasaba beat South Africa's Martial Johannes Grobler 3-0 in the silver medal match. Omumasaba dropped to the silver category after losing to Senegalese Sini Sembene, who went on to win gold in the division. He had been given a bye in the first round and in the second round edged Sabri Mnasaria 3-1. Kenya's first medal at the Games was from the women's handball team, which also won silver. Now, Kenya's football team revived their hopes of a medal at the Africa Beach Games in Hammamet, Tunisia, after edging out Libya 11-8 in their third game of the 5-team tournament today. Meanwhile, the men's and women's basketball teams had a losing start in the tournament.
Kenya's victory over the Libyan side, coupled with Tanzania's 8-1 loss at the hands of Senegal in the other match, means that the national team can battle for the bronze medal on the final day of action when they take on Morocco on Thursday in Tunisia. Lucky Mrabu and Bandari FC's Wilberforce Lugogo were the star players. Mrabu scored 5 goals, while Lugogo scored a hat-trick. Earlier on, the team had lost 5 goals to 3 to Tanzania in their second match of the tournament. Meanwhile, the men and women's basketball teams had a losing start in the tournament. The men's team lost 21-9 to Algeria before losing to host Tunisia. The girls suffered a 21-14 defeat at the hands of Mali. For Prime Edition, I'm Fred Njogu.
Now, moving on is that Mozilla Corporation has today signed double Olympic marathon champion Eliud Kipchoge as a brand ambassador for the Mozilla Africa Mradi program. The Mozilla Africa Mradi and the Eliud Kipchoge Foundation will collaborate with the renowned marathoner to run a promotion campaign of reading among Kenyan youth. This is aligned with the Eliud Kipchoge Foundation's mission to promote access to education among the underprivileged communities. The program will be useful in areas with limited internet access and in promoting access to educational material for the Kenyan youth.
Deals with health, conservation and education. On education, we build libraries. We have started one in Nandi to equip books and make sure that everybody actually gets an eye or a hand to pick up book and get knowledge from there. Mozilla actually will play a big role by introducing a pocket hub there so that the whole community, the future of the youth can come, get the information, go to their houses whereby they don't access internet and still have the information.
Mozilla is working on, and frankly, when you think about education, which I know is a big passion of his, accessibility is such a critical part of that. You know, you need to be able to have access to all of the tools that anyone else does, regardless of where you are in the world.
We are all very excited, very happy, and mostly because our visions are so aligned. You know, that the whole vision around democratizing the innovation space is in line with his in terms of democratizing and accessibility to education and to innovation. You know, as Eliud himself said, you cannot really separate sports from innovation.
For us at Mozilla, one of the things that we're trying to do is reach an audience that maybe isn't the audience that big tech has been trying to reach. And so this gives us a great opportunity to connect, to learn, and to partner with an iconic, an iconic representative of the region.
Quite interesting that the person who's known as the philosopher athlete is now getting into knowledge and accessing it using technology. Now, moving on is that Arsenal have agreed a deal worth £105 million to sign West Ham captain Declan Rice. Talks are continuing between the clubs over how the deal will be structured for the 24-year-old midfielder. This comes hours after Arsenal also confirmed the signing of Chelsea forward Kai Havertz on a 5-year deal worth £65 million.
After West Ham United rejected 2 previous bids by Arsenal for falling short of the £100 million they wanted, a deal was finally agreed that will see the Hammers captain depart to the Emirates for a deal worth £105 million. Arsenal's bid is comprised of an initial £100 million plus £5 million in add-ons. The initial fee equals the British record Manchester City paid for mid-season. Arsenal have also signed Germany forward Kai Havertz from Chelsea on a 5-year deal until 2028 for £65 million. The fee for Havertz, who scored 9 goals for the Blues last season, could rise with add-ons. Havertz spent 3 seasons at Stamford Bridge and scored 19 goals in 91 Premier League appearances and hit the winner in the 2021 Champions League final against Manchester City.
Champions League hero!
Elsewhere, Manchester United are expected to formally approach Brighton with regard to midfielder Moises Caicedo after making initial contact this week. United have been on the search for a new midfielder this summer, with a £55 million bid for Chelsea's Mason Mount still on the table, but are now keen to explore the possibility of bringing Caicedo to Old Trafford.
Well, that's the sport for tonight, and I wish you a very good evening. But remember, Saturday, 11:40 p.m. until 6 p.m., we shall be on the Mozart Bet Cup finale, because we've got the third place playoff. FC Leopards will be playing against Lindsay Stars, and then Kakamega Homeboys will be playing against Tusker FC. So the third place playoff is at noon, that is 12 p.m., and the final is going to be at 3 p.m., including all the glitz and the glamour that comes with the presentation. Remember, KBC remains to be your true sports partner. Have a good evening. My name is Daniel Wahome. Over to you, Cynthia Nyamai.
It is the cup with the golden ticket. Mozart Bet Cup, 2 million shillings. CAF Confederations Cup. Kuwa mshindi. Mozart Bet Cup.
Thank you, Wahome, for all this sports action. And just a few comments. Zwena Rajab from Mombasa is saying that she enjoyed tonight's bulletin, but she also said that she missed out on the entrepreneur stories. There are other 2 comments I can see. Someone says they missed the story on entrepreneurship. I know that's young and industrious, but we will have young and industrious back next week. From all of us right here in studio, we would like to wish you a very good night.
Cheza Loto Moto.
1,100